Okay, so our next partner is?
Aquasec.
Okay, what do they do?
They do security and sys benchmarks for your Kubernetes clusters.
Very cool. Well, again, very critical, truly job zero for Amazon perspective.
Absolutely.
Take it away.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kashif Zaidi. I'm with Aqua Securities. By the way, there's one chair here. Someone wants to come up here? Anyone? Below? Okay. Cool. So those of who you're not aware of what Aqua Security is a full lifecycle security for containers and cloud-native apps. That's what we do. That's what we are. Just to give you an idea, I think a better way to explain to you what we do and how we do it is through like a story. One of our customers, a big financial bank, recently went on a journey to modernize the way they deploy and the way they develop and deploy applications. After looking at the container environment, the ecosystem, they decided on Kubernetes. It was a good move on their end, so they could deploy quickly on a Kubernetes cluster. Now they needed to find something that could an environment that could offer them a fast, reliable, scalable, and least management on their end environment for them to use. So they chose Amazon EKS for that. However, with the new EKS environment and the cloud-native application, the customer realized that they have a new security challenges that they need to address. Just due to the ephemeral nature of containers, you can't use traditional security tools for that. Containers spin up, spin down, they have pods, they go up and down, they get deployed. There's a lot of variables there to it. And typical security containers, typical security tools can't handle that. Vulnerabilities and threat mitigation within the containers need to be identified in a continuous manner and at runtime. And they also need to be auditable for your compliance issue. You need to be able to audit anything that we find or anything that happens. So just plainly said, traditional security tools just can't handle the way containers work, the nature of containers. So in short, our customers are really looking for us to provide them with image scanning from end-to-end image assurance. The image that you scan at the build cycle is the image that you run at runtime. They want to be able to have out-of-the-box policies that they could use and configure the way they want things to happen. In addition, they want to be able to protect the container at runtime. All of this is on the new EKS system. So we at Aqua have been working with AWS for a team for a while now. As you can see, we have a few integration points with AWS throughout the container lifecycle. So Aqua is able to provide security need from the build all the way to your runtime environment. Yeah, good. My mouse works. So it doesn't matter what CI/CD tool you're using. We're the tool agnostic. You're using Jenkins, VSTS, whatever it might be. We'll be able to plug into it and start your scanning, and then move it on to the other steps of the lifecycle, all the while maintaining security and image integrity. So after all that, we'll connect to the Amazon ECR and we'll deploy it on EKS or ECS or even Amazon Fargate. So we're able to do all that. So on the bottom, you'll see, not just image scanning, image assurance, and runtime protection, Aqua provides a whole lot of features. Image scanning, role-based access control, secrets management, image assurance, I mentioned runtime, container firewalling, and compliance check. And we're all able to do this and connect to your existing SIEM or analytics to Splunk, Sumo Logic, all the other ones we have, Logtastic, everything. And if you don't have it, everything's based off an API. We could just configure an API and plug into whatever you might have. Great. So let me just jump into the demo now. Here you see our dashboard. Okay, so here's a dashboard. It's a good 1,000-foot overview of what's going on. It tells you number of containers and whatnot. More importantly is the images section. So images section, it tells you all the links, all the images that you scan from your CI tool automatically gets populated within Aqua's UI. And then you can also add, images to it manually. We'll take a quick look at a few of them here. We'll take a look at this JBoss wildfire, for example. You can see it's disallowed. So we put a policy in place that disallowed the use of this image. So the policy we had in place was to check to see if the vulnerability severity. If the vulnerability was marked as high, it will block it. So if I look at the vulnerabilities, not only do we tell you that, hey, you have a problem, but we also tell you how to fix it. So this particular vulnerability, it was able to give you a description, give you the fixed version, and a resolution, along with the NVD score and the vendor score, which is really important to know. So all this happens from a policy. So if I go look at the policy here, we're using the image assurance policy for this particular demo. Here you can see I had built a policy here, vulnerability severity, low, medium, high. And then I have a lot of other controls here too available. Super user, CVE blacklist, OSS license blacklist, approved base image, sensitive data like your password, secrets, search, whatever that might be left on your computer, and custom compliance check. So if we don't have something, you can write a script on your own and be able to have Aqua check against that. So based on the security policy, you can see a lot of the applications are not allowed. For example, this Nginx one I'm looking at. Nginx 1.7.9 is disallowed. It's disallowed because it found 2 high vulnerabilities here. And it failed the policy. The Nginx latest version, it's all clean and nothing wrong with it, and it's able to go. It's not being blocked. So if I go into my container here, environment here, I'm going to go ahead and do kubectl create -f nginx 179. So this is the 179. It's going to deploy. Great. It says it's been created. If I do a kubectl get PO, you can see error image pull. kubectl, we'll do a describe on that. PO nginx. And you can see Aqua security, you do not have permission to execute this command. So Aqua is actually blocking that image from running because it's based on the policy. Now, if you remember the other container we had, Nginx, the latest version, create -f. So I'm going to deploy the latest version, and same thing here. We'll do a kubectl get pod, and you can see it's running. Everything's working fine, no problem. So Nginx is working, it's running, but the older version has an error. Aqua wouldn't allow it to deploy. So that's our image assurance and image scanning capability. But in addition to that, we have runtime capabilities. I don't know why my mouse is not appearing here. Great. So our runtime, there we go. So our runtime protection, what it does is we could use machine learning to understand what your application is running. So if your application requires 5 executables and this user, we have machine learning to monitor that and build a profile, the least restrictive profile for that particular application. So only those executables will be running and only that user will be running. But in this case, what I'll do is I'll manually add an allowed executable. Well, before I do that, let me exec into that. kubectl exec -it nginx latest, and I'm going to run the bash shell. So this should throw me into it. Yep. So I'm in the environment. Who am I? Great. So I'm in the engineering environment. I'm logged in as root. I could do ls, I could do clear, I could do any command. But now if I go back to my UI here, and let's add /bin/ls only. I'm going to go ahead and save it. So if I go back to the policy here, just to show you, what I just did was I added an allowed executable, and I only allowed ls. So if I go back to my container, running container, if I type in ls, it works. If I type in clear, it doesn't work. If I type in who am I, permission denied, permission denied. So Aqua was able to block those executables from running. So once we block it, we're also able to, everything gets pushed to the audit log. So if I click on the block, the last block, what would happen? You can see everything is audited. You know, what was the policy, what happened, what command was used, clear, who was the effective user on the container. So I'm logged in as root, and I'm still being denied, you know, that privilege. And you can see where did I come from, what IP address, what host I came from. So, so you know from your audit log what's happening. Now you can connect this to your Splunk, your Slack or PagerDuty, and get notified when something like this happens, or when a scan fails, or anything happens, you can get notified easily. Now if I go back here, let's go ahead and delete this one. Save it. Let's go back to the container. Type in ls, everything works. Type in clear, everything's back to normal. So in addition, exit. So that's runtime policy, but we also have policy already built for you. Like say if you wanted to do configure your computer or your environment to be NIST compliant, CIS, HIPAA, or PCI, we have those templates already there for you. So you can go ahead and select one and you can add it, and your policy will be reflecting what those guidelines recommend you to do. Great. And thank you all for this opportunity. If you want to see a demo or talk more, me and my colleagues will be outside and we'll be glad to talk to you. Or you could go ahead and email us at cloud.sales@aquasecurity.com. Again, my name is Kashif Zaidi. I'm a solution architect at Aqua. Thank you.